Howdy and welcome to Daily Miles. Do me a solid, smash that like button down below. Definitely helps out the channel, and while you're down there, hit the subscribe button for more content. On today's agenda, a little juggling, a little writing, and looking at the cruise ship out there. And then a little bit more writing, a little more juggling, make some food, basically a non-day of anything exciting that you need to watch. So this is going to be a very short update, aside from explaining what I mean by writing. So the story of Amelia's stories is, or there are 8 in the series. One of those stories is my grandparents getting together, and that's the story that I'm telling. It's the only story that I'm going to tell at this point because nobody's interested in hearing anything else. So I'm going to finish up that story and then I'm done. But aside from that, the story's already been written. I don't need to do anything to it. I don't need to rewrite the story. What I do need to do is reformat it for a slightly shorter span audience. So originally, I was going to shoot this long form, but I can't shoot it long form because nobody will watch the damn thing. And I can't shoot it in the way that I wanted to shoot it, which was telling an allegorical visual story while you're hearing me do the auditory. So the way that I'm shooting this is Instagram, Reels, Facebook Reels, and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, 60-second snippets. And what that does is it forces me to reformat the storyline so that you still retain the core elements of the story, and yet at the same time you move things along. And at the same time, at the same time, well, it has to be 60 seconds or less. And that is a challenge the size of Montana. So I'm starting chapter 4 at this point. So when I say starting, I'm taking what is rightfully, almost 50,000 words and condensing it down to about 1,500. That's insane. Oh my God. This is crazy. So all I'm doing is I'm condensing it and then pulling out a lot of plot thickeners, or what's a good way of talking about that? Pulling out a lot of the stuff that makes you see it in your head, the visuals. I'm pulling out a whole lot of the visual descriptions that I use to write it, and just get right to the core elements of chapter 4. And this is where things start to pick up in chapter 4. You will see she will date in chapter 4, and she's going to date hard in chapter 4 according to what she told me. But I don't want to give too much away. There is a surprise in there are actually 2 surprises in chapter 4 that'll make you go, what? So that is on my agenda for today. It's really just writing and really reformatting, then doing a little juggling, just take my head out of the equation and just walk right out there and juggle, do a little bit of juggling. And then look at the cruise ship that pulled up this morning. I'm like, what? How did that happen? This cruise ship out there. And then get right back to more writing, and then a little bit later on make some food, make some nosh, and I really can't go anywhere until probably Monday. So just to give you a little recap, in yesterday's video I alluded to the fact that I went to a mechanic, and you saw a little piece of that. So the recap is that the van requires, it's nothing major that can't be fixed. It's not like, total mechanical failure. That's just not going to happen. Well, it might happen, but you never know. But this is all fixable, and I can actually do it myself. I could actually do the job myself because I have done the job myself. If I have the tools. I don't have the tools. So I can either go to an AutoZone and do the repair work myself, just buy the part and do it, which is not that hard. It'll take me about 2 hours to do the major reconstructive work. But aside from that, I don't need any. It's not that hard. I've done this job myself, and it probably needs. I I need to swap out the swap out the spark plugs because they're probably all swathed in oil at this point. So yeah, that needs to happen, and the sooner the better. So I finally figured out why there's oil in the spark plugs, and it makes a lot of sense. I went back and I researched the video where I actually show you what happened, and this is when Larry and I were looking at the P0307 error when we were getting a misfire. And in order to get into that component, you have to take off the cover, and right there is a gasket. That little gasket is causing a problem. It's leaking, or there's oil there that should be going where it's not. Yeah, it's leaking. And the whole reason why it's leaking is because when Larry and I put the cover back on, or put the gasket back on, is that there should be 2 pieces of silicone at the front of the manifold and the back side of the manifold. And I don't remember us putting those silicone, that little dabs of silicone there to shore up the gasket itself. So I'm thinking that's where the leak is coming from. So if I were to just plug those 2 holes, I should be good to go. But the right thing to do is to just replace the gasket entirely and put on those 2 little silicone dabs, and we should be good to go. That's the major problem that has to get addressed. Not right this moment, but the sooner you do this, the easier things get, because it can become a monster problem if you're not careful. So I need to get that taken care of ASAP. Now, again, I can do the work, I just need the tools. So I'm probably gonna go find an AutoZone somewhere along the way and say, can I borrow your tools? And they'll go, and give me the tools. But of course, I'm buying the part and doing the job right in their parking lot. That's all I got today, kiddies. Not much of an update, but there you go. That's what I got. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time, your patience, and your patronage. If you like this stuff, smash that like button down below. Definitely helps out the channel. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button for more content. Thanks a bunch for watching. Daily Miles. Bye.